Good morning from beautiful Pai, Thailand. The roosters are going crazy. Go, 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 go. So, what I wanted to talk about in this video is parasites. Parasites and how they are affecting you and how they work and how sneaky and smart and intelligent they are and how they fool you. So, it's really quite extraordinary the way they work. So you're basically mostly in this body bacteria. Bacteria, your human cells or bacteria cells outnumber human cells 10 to 1. Okay, so in other words, you as a separate entity, who you think you are, just this you, this I, is actually made up of several different organisms and life forms. And it's mostly bacteria, actually. Again, bacteria cells, they outnumber human cells by something like 10 to 1. And probably, the same goes for this cow as well. So this cow is not just a cow, it's made up of many different life forms that make up this being. In the same way, human beings are the same thing. So inside your gut is like cultures of bacteria, cultures and civilizations. And some of them are harmful to your overall health. They cause unpleasant sensations in the form of dis-ease. And others, they contribute to your well-being. And they're all just doing their own thing, running their own agenda. Both the good bacteria, which we refer to the good bacteria as bacteria that, again, it's good because it promotes your well-being, which is in the form of pleasurable sensations. And then the bad bacteria that are contributing to your dis-ease, feelings of unpleasant sensations. And obviously, because pleasure is the law and everything is wired for pleasure, you would like to experience more pleasurable sensations. Therefore, you would much rather have the good bacteria as the dominant force in your gut. Nevertheless, most of us human beings alive, we have it in such a way that the harmful bacteria is the dominant force. And don't take it personally. They are looking out for their well-being. They have, again, cultures, and they have babies to feed, and it's pretty complex. So they want food for themselves and their offsprings, and they want to be fruitful and multiply because they're Bible readers. They happen to be Bible readers, and they read somewhere in the Bible it says be fruitful and multiply, and they really took it to heart. So how do they work? Well, so let's suppose that you are hanging out in your room and it's 7 p.m. and you're just chilling, maybe watching some TV or just, I don't know, doing some painting or whatever. And a thought form comes into your head. And it's actually more of a visual. And that visual contains a cone of ice cream with some pistachios on the top and some peanut butter. Really, really fancy. And a place that can provide you with that fancy visual, can make your thought form manifest into physical reality. And you tell yourself, I'm really craving ice cream with pistachio and peanut butter on the top. I'm really craving that. And you start to reaffirm that yourself, and you even begin to identify with it. You say, I'm the kind of gal that likes ice cream with pistachio and peanut butter on top. I'm just an ice cream kind of gal, or I'm an ice cream kind of guy. And you call yourself that. You even begin to identify with that label. Little do you know that is more than likely telepathic communication from within the vehicle, from within the body, coming from the harmful bacteria whose favorite food happens to be ice cream with pistachio and peanut butter on top. And they want to eat, they're hungry. Maybe their little babies are crying and they want food. And well, because they live inside this body, they're going to do their best to send telepathic visuals, communication to the one in charge, to the captain, because you're the captain. You, as consciousness, are the captain of the ship, the captain of the, let's think of this as a ship. You're the captain of the ship. So they're going to send the captain of the ship telepathic messages in the form of visuals and sensations, because the visuals create sensations, saying that's what we want to eat. And so it is up to you whether you want to identify with these telepathic messages and answer the call, if you will, and feed those guys. You know, maybe you have so much compassion in your heart that you don't want these harmful bacteria to die. So then you answer the call out of compassion only, mind you. Not because you're craving, not because you really would like to have it, out of pure compassion. And you might get in your car with this compassionate smile on your face, all for these bacteria, right? You might, I mean, you know, that might be a thing. But of course, that's not why you're gonna go get in the car and go to your favorite ice cream store. It's because you think that you need this. You think that that's you. You think that that's gonna make you feel better, which it will momentarily. You think that that is you. You identify with it. You say, well, I got an ice cream problem here. You know, I got an ice cream thing. I love ice cream. I can't live without ice cream. And so that's why you're not gonna go there out of no compassion. Okay, that's not going to be the case. And what you do is you give them the food, and they, because they read the Bible many times, they are fruitful, they are being fruitful, and they multiply. And they multiply very quickly, these bacteria. You don't need to, you know, and once they get a hold of you, once they know that these messages and these telepathic messages and visuals, they come along with sensations in the body. You see? So once they know they got you, I got you one time. Oh, look, we sent him that ice cream with the pistachio and peanut butter on top, and he really answered it. Like, it didn't take much. So let's keep doing that. And then they'll keep doing that. They'll milk it. They'll keep doing it over and over. And if you don't answer the call, if you suddenly stop answering the call because you begin to realize that actually, hold on, that's not even me. That's not what I really want. That's what something else inside of me wants. Something that is harming me, that is draining my energy. Then you might actually try and say, well, okay, you know, I'm not gonna eat ice cream no more. I'm gonna go to fruits only, right? And so they'll realize that, okay, our favorite food is not going to be provided here. But we might be able to get something out of whatever this new way of eating, whatever the captain is eating now. And so they'll continue to send you messages, you know, like, hey, why don't you eat 30 bananas a day, right? That kind of stuff, because they'll still feed off of the food. They can still extract energy for themselves if you're eating 30 bananas a day, let's say. So, so of course, they'll get smarter like that. If they see that you're eating healthier, they'll want you to eat as much of that healthy food as possible, because they'll be able to eat some too, right? So they're really smart, and they're constantly communicating with you. They're constantly sending you messages, these parasites. And again, once they get a hold of you, once they see what works, because they'll see this works, this is really getting her, getting him to answer, to actually give us food, then they'll continue until they run your health into shambles, and until you basically have, you're either overweight, Or, I mean, look, most people, they die because of their food habits. Most human beings, they die because of their food choices throughout their life. I would say 95% of human beings die because they made bad food choices in their lives. And then it carries over, you may not feel it, the full effects instantly, but you will. You will. I mean, I think human beings could go on live for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years if they ate properly and sparingly. Properly and sparingly. And it is common knowledge that if you eat less, you live longer. So take that in. Most human beings die because they make bad food choices throughout their lives, which means these parasites in many ways run the world. How so? Because you have to look at the connection of everything. Because human beings are so obsessed with eating, and it's because of these parasites, because they implant these visuals, through telepathy, they implant these visuals in our minds, and then it comes with sensations, and then we respond to these sensations. Then, I mean, look, we basically we farm the whole planet just to get food. We farm animals, we kill animals, we destroy the planet, all so that we eat, so that we keep eating and eating and eating. And all the plastic and all the pollution and everything on the planet, that's all because we're so obsessed with consuming. In consumption, it's the consumption program. And the number one thing we consume, without a doubt, more than material objects, more than anything, is food. So in many ways, our obsession as a species with eating, with the experience of eating, and linking it even to survival. I mean, we went as far as, for many generations now, linking it to survival, which it isn't. It has nothing to do with survival. It's an experience. But our obsession with that part of the human experience and our fixation on it is leading us to, disaster, disease, early death. I mean, look, if you're not living for like at least 200 years, you've got an early death. Your body can go on for hundreds of years. So, I mean, there you go, right? And then that is also leading to the destruction of the planet and other species. I mean, look what we do to animals, and look at how much farmlands do we take so that we could grow all this food, so that we could all continue to eat, and basically kill our way to death, essentially, and have essentially all of us have an early death because of the way we eat and how frequent we eat. So all because of the parasites. So you see the connection. You see that the parasites in many ways run the world. They really do run the world. These parasites, they run the world. They rule the world. And so if you become more aware that isn't you that wants the ice cream, that isn't you that wants the cookies, that isn't you that wants the Big Mac, then just that awareness alone, it doesn't mean you're suddenly gonna stop. It may take you years before you overcome one addiction or another, and it probably will. Because these things are they're also so attached to our emotions. Because like, for example, me as a kid, if I got beat up by my dad, right, then I would resort to eating. I would go right after or the next day, I would go to the supermarket and I would get all kinds of candies and chips and you name it. So it became associated with emotion also. That's why these things are difficult to overcome. Food addiction might be the most difficult drug to overcome. It really, I mean, I have compassion, I have total empathy for all the people that are overweight. A lot of my close relatives are overweight, like not in a good way at all. And I understand it, I get it. It becomes related to your emotions. Because as a kid, every time you felt miserable or taken advantage of or depressed, you resorted to food, and that became associated with comfort, because these foods would give you this instantaneous comfort. So it became associated with food. So it's very difficult to overcome. these parasites have taken advantage of the way human beings treat one another, and so that whenever they see you, you know, feeling down or depressed or this or that, they put these visuals inside your head, give you the sensations of comfort and dopamine and all that. Because if you just think of a chocolate bar, you feel the dopamine right away, like it's in your body begins to secrete it. So the parasites are intelligent beings, and they pick up on all of that, and they work as such. So just the awareness of that alone, that this isn't you that actually wants these things, but it's the parasites, then in fact the real you doesn't want anything, pretty much. The real you is pure light, and the real you is pure fulfillment and pure joy, and is not the physical body, is the experiencer of the physical body. So just the awareness that that isn't you, that alone begins the process, plants the seed of overcoming these addictions, of overcoming these telepathic visuals, telepathic messages and visuals and sensations that are sent to you via these parasites, these, let's call them other life forms. And once the seed is planted, that's it. You're in the process now. You're in the process of claiming back your soul in many ways, claiming back your true identity, your true self, pure light. So, hopefully this video can bring some awareness to you. I am always battling my food addictions. I plan on a 3-day dry fast coming up in the near future, because apparently dry fasting is like 3 times more powerful than water fasting. So if I do 3 days of dry fasting, it's like doing 9 days of water fasting. And I'm always a big fan of shortcuts. That's why I'm a big fan of psychedelics, because they, you know, this is sort of like the psychedelic of healing the physical body. You do it 3 days, and it's like you fasted for almost 10 days on water, which I'm sure has incredible healing powers. So I'm sort of preparing myself for that, coming up in the near future, because I am battling these things. Only last week I ate Oreos and chocolate, like chunky bar and croissant and bread, and I ate all kinds of things just last week. It's very recent. So I am always battling these things, and it is because I'm battling this that I start to realize that it's actually the parasites, you know. It really is the parasites. Oh, look at this. Absolutely magnificent. Magnificent. Cows are so magnificent. Oh, unbelievable. Oh, unbelievable. Okay, so thank you to all the Patreons for your support. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. And thank you to all the people who also donated on PayPal, just one-time donations. If you would like to contribute to this channel in a financial way, something as little as $2 a month, or just a $2 one-time donation, the links for the Patreon family and the one-time donations are in the description. So go ahead, get off your lazy ass, get your credit card out, become part of the Patreon family. If you feel like these videos have really helped you, then that way I'm able to do this full-time at some point and possibly throw retreats here as well. So thank you guys, all the love, and until next time, may the force be with you.